Hello. Can anybody hear me? I'm starting almost a minute early. If you can hear me, let me know. Let me know. All right, green check marks. I guess that's good. Thank you. We'll give people a few minutes to come in. It's just barely 8 o'clock. Just hit the top of the clock there. So if you want to tell me where you're from, that would be cool. It's always interesting to see where people are watching from. Elizabeth Crawford, that is my wife, just in case you weren't aware. She is out of town right now, but she'll be in the chat. Tell the people what they want to hear, what they want to know. I'll try. Let's see. So thanks for joining me tonight. Hopefully I can answer some questions about myself and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it maybe, and all that kind of stuff. All those things that you might want to know. So let's see. When are you getting 44s? I'm only going to 42s. So and maybe after I wear out the 42s, I'll think I need to go to 44s. I don't know. But very soon, tomorrow, in fact, I'll probably pull the FJ Cruiser into the garage here and start taking it apart, so that it'll be no turning back after that. So that'll probably start tomorrow. I've been waiting for parts. Let's see here. Nashville, Colorado, Texas, Logan, Utah. Well, that's not too far. Arizona, loved Arizona. That place is awesome. Texas, I was just in Texas. It's been a little while actually now, but I sure love your parks there. 42's okay, but sorry. I don't want to disappoint you, Nigel. Let's see, am I upgrading my transfer case? Yes, I will be upgrading to an Atlas transfer case. It's their lowest gears. I can't remember the numbers. It's like 11.7 to 1. So that should give me some really low gearing. The axles themselves will be geared to 538. So I should have some pretty low gearing, which will allow me to actually crawl up rocks rather than just, spin my tires and scramble to the top. So that'll be really nice to have low gears like that. Lake Havasu, Arizona. All right. So for steering, I am doing PSC full hydro. It's going to be a 8-inch dual side ram, 2 3/4 inch diameter. So full hydro with the orbital valve and everything. So no connection to no actual physical connection to the steering wheels. It'll be 100% hydraulic. So I'm pretty excited about that. Am I doing all the welding? That's a great question. The plan is for me to do all the welding. I am not a welder at this point, but what better way to learn than by doing it? That's the only way to learn. So I've been doing some practicing before I actually start burning metal on the FJ, but I think I'll be okay. Welders, I got a Hobart 210. It's Hobart model 210 welder, and it's pretty user-friendly, so I think I should be able to handle it probably, hopefully. If I get it over my head, I'll ask someone for help. There's some people around here that can help me out, and so I'm not too worried. Let's see. Are you planning on changing up your content considering your rig will be a true rock crawler? Changing up my content. I mean, I still want to do trails that aren't incredibly difficult. I'm not just going to do extreme trails, but I will be able to do some extreme trails and some more extreme obstacles. For instance, when I've been down in Sand Hollow, Utah, there have been I've missed out on doing a lot of things there. There are tons of hard trails and obstacles that I just haven't touched with my FJ. So I'm not really going to change my content other than I will do some harder trails, but I'll continue to do trails that aren't extreme. So let's see. How did I get into off-roading? Well, that's a funny story. I lived in Pahrump, Nevada for a little bit when I was younger, and I had a Ford Ranger and drove it up into the mountains, and I really just got into exploring what was up in the mountains. It was fascinating to me. And it's still fascinating to me to go and explore. Whenever I'm driving on the highway and I'm looking at the mountains and I see a road that kind of goes up the side of a mountain, I think, well, I wonder where that goes. I wonder where that one goes. So I'm always just curious. I've always been curious where those roads up in the mountains go. Let's see here. Any Canada? I would love to get up to Canada. I want to get up to Canada in August into British Columbia, and but that depends on whether or not the border is open. So we'll just have to see if that happens. Hopefully it does. I'd really, really love to get up there in August. Let's see. Can't wait to see that thing on Fordyce. I can't wait to see that thing on Fordyce myself. I'm really excited to get this project really underway and honestly to get it done so that I can get back out onto trails. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, I really like being out and exploring. Chris Jordan, what's up, Ken? Just doing a live stream on YouTube. Let's see here. Exo Cage, are you getting tired of replacing body panels? Let's see. I've got those two front fenders, and I haven't actually replaced those yet. And I've replaced the passenger side door. That's the only thing those are the only things I've actually replaced in terms of the body. I'm not ready to go do an exoskeleton yet. I might get there someday. Maybe next winter I'll do a roll cage. I'll put in a roll cage after this summer season of off-roading. We'll just have to see. All right. Jeff Greenwood is in the house. We did the Rubicon Trail together and the portion of Fordyce that we did last summer. Jeff was on that trip with us. That was a ton of fun. And Jeff has also been a big help with advice and things, getting this build underway. He kind of talked me into it, so it's his fault. Let's see. How long do you think the solid axle swap will take? Well, once I tear the vehicle apart, which involves taking off everything that's on there now in terms of suspension and everything, and even some cross members and things. And then I've got a plasma cutter where I'm going to use to cut off all the old bracketry and some of those cross members that came from the factory. And then I've got to put it all back together in a 3-link setup, front and rear. And I hope that the build won't take more than a month. So ideally even a little bit less than that. That would be great. The build-up, I really wanted to be doing this build like back in February, but it turns out that getting parts and just the logistics of doing a project like this are pretty huge. So it's been put off and put off and put off, but I finally almost have all my parts. I'm still waiting for a couple things to come from Artec. My full hydro mount that goes on the Dana 60, it should be here in the next couple days. So it's just been a real struggle to get parts, and yeah. Plus, I ordered my Atlas transfer case back in December, and it just arrived last week. So things take a while. Let's see here. I'm dropping my GX470 and all the parts off for a solid axle swap when you finish the FJ. You know, let's see how my FJ goes. That might determine whether or not you want to do that. We'll see. But actually, you know, I would love to get into doing more of these kind of builds down the road, especially in the wintertime when everything is snowed in, unless I go down to New Mexico and Arizona. But everything Utah and north is snowed in this time of year. So doing builds like that in the wintertime might be something I do. Let's see here. Do you plan on running fiberglass fenders to fit the 42s, or are you going to cut the fenders? So I'm not going to run fiberglass fenders. I don't want the fenders to stick out any further. I don't want any of that. I want the tires to stick out. To hopefully it'll help get my fenders away from rocks and trees and things like that. So I'm not going to widen it. The tires are going to stick way out. If you are familiar with, there's a guy on Instagram. It's his handle is Utah_Yoda. If you look at that build, that's about where my tires will be. I'm going to have to trim the fenders quite a bit, especially in the back. I'm going to do a lot of cutting and basically open it up from the tires back. And then the front fenders, I don't know. We'll just have to see how they fit. I know that some FJs who have done solid axle swaps have trimmed about an inch off the bottom of that fender. So it doesn't really look that trimmed, but it is. So we'll just have to see how it fits after everything's on there. All right. Thank you, shoulder gun driver. All right. A solid axle swap on a 100 series next month. That sounds like fun. Why did you choose an FJ? That's a good story. Actually, I didn't choose an FJ. My wife and I were driving around one day and we stopped at a dealership and she saw an FJ and she said, "We need to buy that." I was like, okay. So we brought it home and we went for a couple drives out in the woods, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. And then I started looking into, you know, upgrading this or that, and it just kind of exploded, and that's how I ended up in an FJ Cruiser. So I was actually looking at Jeeps before that, but ended up with an FJ Cruiser. So let's see. Jeff, can we touch on the parts delay? Sure, Jeff. Yeah, let's just say I ordered from a company called Rock Solid Toys, and they kind of went under in the process of trying to fulfill my order, and that was a big delay. And fortunately, I was able to get my money back from them. So, yeah, if you're thinking about ordering parts and you run across Rock Solid Toys, I wouldn't. Let's see here. How did you decide the direction parts options for your solid axle swap? Well, let's see. So I had Utah_Yoda on Instagram build my rear bumper, and he has his giant FJ Cruiser, and I was kind of inspired by that. I went with the Ford Super Duty axles because I saw that it worked on his, and I liked how wide it was, And initially, I thought that going with the axles from a junkyard would be really kind of an inexpensive route. And it was initially, but building axles costs quite a bit of money for sure, with gears and lockers and chromoly axles and things like that. So that, the $150 axles from the junkyard definitely got a little bit pricier than that. Let's see here. What's going to be the first trip after the solid axle swap? Well, I don't know yet for sure, but the first, I'll definitely take it around here a little bit to kind of make sure that everything holds together. And then I'll probably head down to Moab or Sand Hollow or something like that. And then in June, I'll be on the Rubicon Trail for Rubathon, which is a Land Cruiser event. So it's coming up. It's just, over 2 months? So got to get this thing cooking. 3 months, something like that. Let's see here. Would you recommend only going as high as 35s on IFS? Well, unless you upgrade the front suspension to long travel, yeah, that's about the limit. Going to 37s takes a little bit more upgrading for sure. And so I think 35s is a good spot to stop. And I didn't, I've been out with guys on 37s and I get around on 35s just fine. So I wouldn't spend the extra money that it takes to go to 37s, but that's just me. That's why I'm going all the way up to 42. So I'm skipping the 37 and just, going crazy. So, all right. Yes, I do have a wider trailer now because I have an 8.5 by 16 trailer instead of a 7-foot wide trailer. That'll fit. Let's see. Kevin Cook says, I'm an off-road Clark Griswold. All right, I'll take that as a compliment. Doing this solid axle swap, I think there's going to be some moments when I feel like Clark Griswold when I'm putting it together. I can see some Christmas lights moments ahead. Let's see. Am I going to do Busy Wild again after the solid axle swap? Yes. I'll definitely do Busy Wild after the solid axle swap, and I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good fit. Let's see. Troy Roberts, what is your personal background? Love your channel, by the way. We met briefly on Poughkeepsie. Oh, all right. Didn't know you were a YouTuber until I randomly found your channel. Hey, well, thanks, Troy. My personal background, let's see. I grew up in Michigan, and when Elizabeth and I got married, when we were both about 26, we moved west, and we've lived up and down the I-15 corridor since 2007, all the way from Vegas up to Great Falls, Montana. Now we're in Rexburg, Idaho, which is just north of Idaho Falls, Idaho. I spent a lot of years as a mechanic for Chrysler and Toyota, and then also I spent some time actually as a mechanic at Pep Boys when I first started out. So I worked on all makes and models, but a lot of time at a Chrysler dealership and a little bit with Toyota, which is another reason I thought I might go with a Jeep someday. But I'm a huge Toyota fan. So, but I love Jeeps too. Anyways, let me get a drink. All right. So yeah. My professional background is as a mechanic. My semi-professional hobby background is that I'm a musician. I've played tuba in orchestras, and that's been a lot of fun. But that's far removed from off-roading. Let's see here. Are you going to stretch the rear axle? From Cody. I think you mean like extend the wheelbase or make the axle wider. I'm not going to make the axle wider, but I am going to extend the wheelbase. Right now, the FJ from the factory is a 106-inch wheelbase. And I hope to be around 118 inches when I'm done. I'm going to stretch out the back and I'm going to push out the front. So, so I have a longer wheelbase. That'll be great in places like Sand Hollow where you're climbing and going down vertical things. And so it should be more stable. And the axles are a lot wider, so I should feel a lot more stable in general. Let's see here. How do you post videos from the road, hardware, software, etc.? So when I'm on the road, I have a 2000 Dodge 3500 dually, two-wheel drive that I've got a truck camper, and I live in the truck camper and I pull the FJ behind me, and I have a laptop that's right here. Oh, I don't want to move it too much because I've got cables and stuff. Anyways, there's a laptop right here, and I have that with me, and I edit videos with Adobe Premiere Pro. And the hardest part of getting videos out when I'm on the road is finding adequate internet access. I've done it with a hotspot with my phone, but this year with 2020 and the pandemic's been rough because everything's been closed. Libraries are really good because they've got free internet that's usually pretty fast. But so finding internet is really the hardest part of getting videos uploaded when I'm on the road. But yeah, I use Adobe Premiere Pro on a fast laptop. It's actually a gaming laptop, so it has lots of RAM and a graphics processor, and so it works pretty well. Let's see here. Is YouTube a full-time thing for you? From Fitz Venture. Yes, it is. To put out 2 videos a week, YouTube has to be a full-time thing. It takes a lot of time to video what I'm doing, and then it takes a lot of time to edit those things. So yeah, it's a full-time thing. Let's see here. Elizabeth tells us I'm being humble. Let's see here. Do you use Spot or a satellite phone in case of an emergency? No, I don't have any satellite communications. I did get stuck on an Arizona trail that one time, and I had to walk a couple miles out to a road where I could find a cell phone signal. Other than that, usually trails that I'm on actually aren't that far away from civilization. So I usually am within a few miles of where other people are, and I feel like I can walk out from something like that. But I probably should have some kind of satellite communicator. I guess they make some that you can send texts with. That would probably be a good idea, just in case, I got hurt or something. So I guess I'm a little bit reckless with going off-road by myself, but again, it's really hard to find people on a Tuesday afternoon to go out on a trail in the middle of Wyoming after I just rolled into town. And so, that's just the risk I take. Let's see here. Ooh. Are you keeping the FJ's paint job? Yeah, I'm not going to repaint it. I might do a wrap at some point. I've had a really hard time trying to decide what kind of design I would want to use for a wrap. Yeah, and then also how much I want to spend on a wrap that might get torn up. Ugh, I don't know. Which part of the country have you most interesting for off-roading? Well, the furthest east I've been has been Oklahoma, and that was just recently. So I've been in pretty much every Western state now, except the only place I haven't been out west here is Southern California. It's hard to pick a favorite spot. I mean, the Rubicon Trail is kind of like the ultimate trail. That is the best. But I mean, I don't know. It's probably too hard to pick a favorite. I've found gems in every state. I was really surprised by New Mexico. They've got some awesome trails down there that nobody ever talks about. I was a little scared going into New Mexico that I wouldn't be able to find any trails down there, but they have some awesome off-roading down there. Let's see, you should do a one-take video on a trail you are familiar with. Walk us through your lines. Well, all my videos on trails are actually one take. And I try to explain what's happening on the trail, and when I'm doing an obstacle, you know, what went wrong and how it could have gone better and how I felt about it. But, you know, I'll try to do better. Let's see here. Do you have any plans on coming to Canada? Yes, in August. I would love to come to Canada in August, probably British Columbia. I'll be in Washington in August, and that's when I'll redo Busy Wild, if you're in Washington, just so you know. But hopefully after I do Busy Wild and I'm not broken down, I'll make my way up to British Columbia. I really hope the border's open. Let's see here. The Chile Challenge trails are not near civilization. Well, some of them. I mean, the newer section of Chile Challenge trails, that's right off of Interstate 25. I mean, somewhat, just a few miles off the freeway there, and there was quite a bit of cell phone signal there, as I recall, until you got back on some of the more remote trails. But definitely the ones down by down further south, those ones were really remote, actually. So, let's see here. And actually, the Chile Challenge trails, I only did one of those by the northern ones, I only did one by myself, and the rest I had company. Let's see here. The total cost of the build you think it will be? Wow. Quite a bit. Doing a solid axle swap, that's in the neighborhood of $20,000 to $30,000. So, quite a bit. Do you need to get all the dents out before wrapping it? I don't think so. I think maybe some of the bigger ones, pull them out a little bit, but I think a wrap would cover up a lot of the dents and it would be okay. Moab, yeah, I definitely want to get to Moab again. I haven't explored Moab very much, actually. When we were down in Moab, I had a rear lower control arm bolt come loose and kind of ruined the whole trip for us, so I didn't get to explore too much down there. So I definitely want to go back down and explore more Moab. The Ozark Mountains, I definitely want to give that a shot. How far north have you gone on trails? Oh, wait a minute, go back up here. Have you spent any time overlanding or camping incorporated? Only once in the Arizona Strip. I did some camping and overlanding. It's a two-part video. You go back to my Arizona Trails playlist, you'll be able to see those. That was a ton of fun. I'd never actually done that before, but there was a big group that got put together, and I joined them, and it was a ton of fun. Southern California, yep, I need to get to Southern California. Absolutely. I'll have to buy diesel before I get into California, though, so I can afford to do it. How far north have you gone on trails? I've been in Montana and Washington. That's as far north as I've been. Let's see here. Yes, Big Bear, I am excited to go see Southern California for sure. Definitely, Mike Festiva, we will meet up for sure. Absolutely. Have you considered a trail guidebook of some sort? Yeah, I really should do that. I hit a ton of trails last year, a ton of trails in 11 states, 90 trails in 11 states. I probably could write a book. Love your Long Wing says, hey man, love your Washington videos. Thank you. I'm located in eastern Idaho. That's where I'm based. Let's see here. I remember the Busy Wild Trail in Washington. Did you not see anyone on the trail the whole time? Nope. I did not see a single person on the trail. Anyway, I didn't see a single person in Elby on the whole trail system that day. There was nobody out there. Let's see. Will I be selling my old FJ parts? Yes, they are all spoken for. I'll probably repurpose my skid plates, cut them up, and try to use that material for new skid plates. How long have you YouTube full time? Since March of 2020, so just over a year. Not too long. Let's see here. Don't say it, wife is watching. I'm not sure. I don't get it. Elizabeth says she's committed money-wise. Yes, true. If you come to North Dakota, I know some nice trails. I would like to get to North Dakota. I've got a friend who lives up in North Dakota who's always taking pictures of trails up there. It sounds like it's a lot like New Mexico, where there aren't a lot of people down there and nobody knows about the trails that aren't local. So yeah, I'll have to get explore North Dakota for sure. Let's see here. What is it about you wanting to change out the 35s to 42s? So the reason that I'm going with this big build is because, like I said, I did 90 trails last year or so, and I just feel really limited by my current setup. I skip a lot of obstacles, and there are trails that I avoid because I just wouldn't be able to do them, or at least I wouldn't be able to do them very safely. The big problem when you get on big rolly rocks and independent front suspension is that it's just not stable. It's not as stable as a solid front axle. So it just hasn't felt very safe doing those trails and obstacles. Yeah, I've just had to pass up a bunch of things, and I want to be able to do it all. So let's see, Harrison, British Columbia. Okay, I'll check that out. Oh, what happens with ABS check engine lights? So yeah, I won't have ABS anymore. Not at least not this year. You know, down the road, I might figure out how to get some custom tone wheels made for each wheel. But so I won't have ABS or A-track after I do this, but I'll be locked front and rear, so it's not too big a loss. Check engine light. Yeah, that'll probably be on. So I'm going to get the build done and get it drivable and out there, and then I'll have to work out different bugs and kinks as time goes on. The Atlas has I should have a functioning speedometer. There's a little sensor that goes into the Atlas, and with a little bit of wiring magic, I should be able to have that functioning at least, but there'll definitely be kinks to work out. Let's see here. Have I wheeled any trails out in the Owahis by Nampa, Caldwell, Idaho? Yes. Check out my Idaho Trails playlist. I did. We did visit the area. Let's see here. Yes, thank you, Elizabeth, for helping in the comments. I should come to Northwest Florida. The Elgin Air Force Base has great land to ride on. Really? Okay. Again, Florida's probably one of those places where you have to be local to know where to go off-road. Will you be able to keep a 42 on spare tire carrier? I need to update that as well. So I've had a swing out bumper for quite a long time now, but I will not carry a 42-inch tire on the back of the vehicle. I'll probably keep a 42-inch tire in my truck so that I have a spare nearby, but I don't think I'll carry a spare on the vehicle. And the nice thing about having beadlock wheels is that I'll be able to actually change a tire myself without any machines. So that'll be good. Let's see. How much wider will your rig be? Well, it'll end up being about, just over 90 inches wide. So I believe that's right. And so right now it's 70, so about 20 inches wider. What spare parts will you bring with your new style and axle setup? I don't know. I'll have to see what breaks. Let's see. I haven't given that a ton of thought, but I'll figure that out, and I'll definitely keep you updated. Am I going to modify my transfer case? Yes, transfer case. I'm changing to an Atlas, and a 4-speed Atlas with their lowest 11.7 to 1. Am I swapping engines? No. I don't see a need for that at this point. There are old Toyotas with much less powerful engines with the same kind of setup. So I don't think power is really going to be too much of an issue. If I blow up the engine one day, I'll throw a V8 in maybe, but I'm not going to change the engine as of yet. Let's see here. Jeff Greenwood says Florida sucks. I don't know about that. Florida. Let's see here. Electrical tape fixes check engine lights. Well, yeah, we'll just have to see how the lights go. But wow, Florida's not getting any love here. Not any good wheeling down in Florida. How about hitting up Sand Hollow after the build? Yep, that is a definite possibility. It's right down I-15, just a short drive. So that is a definite possibility. Maybe Moab as well. Will the FJ still be street legal? Well, not technically, no. The B-locks will not be street legal, and the full hydro steering will not be street legal. I will still probably drive it on the street to get to and from trails, and I don't think law enforcement is going to really give me any trouble for doing that. You know, I'll just be careful, take it easy, just to get to trails. So no, technically it will not be street legal. Let's see here. I see Elizabeth answering questions, and I'm trying to figure out which one she's answering. Oh, okay. Yes, Sand Hollow will happen. Let's see. Sharon looks forward to my videos, but is kind of sad that I'm modifying to different axles. Well, don't be sad. It's okay. I'm still going to do the same types of trails. I'm just going to hit some harder trails now and then. You know, don't be sad. It's going to be great. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I'll be a Trail Hero in October. That's at Sand Hollow. But let's see. I don't know if I missed this earlier. When will the new build be done? When will the new build be done? I hope to have it done within a month here. So that's fairly ambitious for someone who's never done a build. A lot of shops claim to take several months. But, you know, I don't see how it could take longer than a month. We'll just have to see. Let's see. Big axles and low reliable power is the best setup. Yeah. You know, not having big power, that'll probably help me not break things as much in the axles. But I will have pretty low gearing, so we'll see what happens. Have I considered bolting on a supercharger or a V8? No. We'll see how the power goes, but I don't think it'll be necessary. Am I keeping the cup holder inserts stock? You know, the cup holder inserts, I remember those cup holder inserts, but they have been missing for a long time now. I don't know where they went. So now I just have extra large, extra wide cup holders that everything falls over him. With the Atlas and the gear shifters, hopefully I can get those in a fairly close to the old stock position. I don't know. I'm going to pull out the center console, and I might have to reconfigure things there. I do not know about the future of my cup holders. Let's see. When am I coming back to Arizona? I will be in Arizona next winter. So how things are generally kind of work is everything gets snowed in the winter time up north, and so as it gets colder, I head south. So I'll be in Arizona next winter for sure. I'll be in New Mexico for the Chili Challenge event, and that is in October, just after Trail Hero. So I'll probably swing over to Arizona after that, October, November, somewhere in there. Cruise Moab, I would love to do Cruise Moab. What's my daily driver? Actually, I just got a brand new 2006 Pontiac Vibe, 30 miles per gallon, reliable, Toyota engine. So let's see here. What suspension setup are you going with? So it's going to be, it is not a kit. I am piecing it together. It's a 3-link front and rear, and Radflow 14-inch coilovers, Ibach coils, and that's it for the suspension. Dana 60 front axle, Sterling 10.5 rear. Let's see here. If you ever do an engine swap, would you consider going with a diesel engine? Probably not. Diesels are they're cool, but I like the simplicity of a gasoline engine. There's one of my dogs, Sola, there. She's a Labradoodle. Why don't you travel with a dog? Our dogs are really poorly behaved. That's why I don't travel with them. They bark at people and they seem really mean. Let's see. It doesn't seem like you wheeled the FJ very long before going solid axle swap. No, not very long, but a lot. Like I've mentioned earlier in the video, in the whatever we're doing here, I did about 90 trails in the last year, and so I feel like I got a pretty good feel for what the independent front suspension is all about. Let's see here. When am I coming back to Washington? I'll be back in Washington in August. First trip will probably be San Paulo or Moab. Yes, a Pontiac Vibe is no joke. Let's see here. Yeah, so the cup holder inserts, BKL, they get stuck to the bottom of drinks and you accidentally throw them away. I think that's exactly what happened. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, they're not the best looking vehicle, but vibes, that is. What's up, Bubba? Just here for you, talking to you. Let's see here. Reddington and Tucson again, and I'll be there. Reddington and Tucson. Can't remember the name of the trails I did in Tucson. Chimney Rock and what was the other one? I can't remember, but they're awesome trails down by Tucson for sure. And I skipped some because of time and remoteness. You see, I don't always go out on trails by myself if I think they're going to be too remote. So I have skipped trails because of that. Let's see here. Moab with the big tires will be amazing. I agree. Washington Moon Rocks and Funny Rocks. Those sound like fun. Do you recommend upgraded CVs for the front for a 2 to 3 inch lift? Maybe upgraded boots. But in terms of CVs, as far as I've been able to see with CV axles, the only real upgrade is going to RCV axles, which are really, really expensive. Other than that, All the axles seem to be about the same, to be honest, in my opinion. But you can upgrade boots that are a little bit longer, so they don't get bent as much, and so you don't tear a boot as often. What's the name? CJV. They make extended boots and boots for that kind of thing, so the boots don't tear as much. Elizabeth says, our dogs are not mean, they just bark, and it makes people nervous. That's very true. Chiva Falls, yes. Thank you. Chiva Falls was a really fun trail for sure. And again, that was pretty remote. Let's see here. Michael Beaver says, no. I'm not sure what that's about. Let's see here. Puerto Rico. All right. Thanks for joining from Puerto Rico. Curious if you plan to do Imogene or Black Bear Pass in Colorado. Yeah, sure. I'll do that. I was at the 2019 FJ Summit, and Black Bear was snowed in that year. And I did Imogene from both sides, but not all the way through because it was still snowed in for the 2009 FJ Summit. And so, yeah, I definitely need to go back and do some more exploring around Ouray. I just did Poughkeepsie Gulch a few months back, but that's the only trail that I did while I was there. Let's see here. Did you buy your FJ with the intention of going hard on the trails, or did it take time? I just kind of grew into it. I mentioned that a little earlier. My wife picked it out, and then I kind of took it over. So, let's see. Saudi Arabia. All right. And you've got a 2019 FJ Cruiser. Nice. Yeah, they stopped selling them here in 2014. Everyone's jealous of those countries where they still sell them. Let's see here. Yes, I'm Paul Cuss. I'm glad you like the channel. And I am working out of a garage and definitely not a fancy shop. This is, I've had to pick up some new tools for this build, and I've actually had new power outlets installed, including a 220 outlet. So yeah, it's just a little tiny garage. I had to do some measurements to make sure that after the build, I'd be able to get the FJ out the door. And it looks like I'll be able to. I'll probably have to let all the air out of the tires though. Let's see here. How did I learn to take apart and repair vehicles? I saw your solid axle swap prep and it looked pretty technical. Well, I was just cutting stuff up. It's gonna get more technical. I was a automotive technician for a lot of years, for Chrysler and a little bit for Toyota. Let's see here. What pushed you to start YouTubing full time? Well, so I moved from being an automotive technician, and I actually got into selling cars, and that was right at the beginning of 2020. That was a big mistake, and nobody was buying any cars. So Elizabeth said, well, you should just start off-roading full-time and do a YouTube channel. And I was like, all right, let's give this a shot. So here we are, a year later. Let's see here. Let's see. What drone do I use? It is a Mavic Air 2. It's been a great drone. I've hit a couple trees with it, and it is totally unscathed, and it's performed flawlessly. So yeah, the DJI Mavic Air 2 has been really great. Let's see here. Is most of the build bolt-on parts, or will there be a lot of fabrication and welding? There will be a lot of fabrication and welding. I'm basically, you'll see it pretty soon here. I'm going to take off all the bolt-on parts that are on there now, and then I'll actually be cutting all the mounts off of the frame. So there won't be anything left to bolt onto. So I have to weld on all new brackets for links and have to weld trusses onto axles and lots of cutting and welding and fabrication. So yeah, it's definitely not bolt-on. Let's see here. Elizabeth sounds amazing. Elizabeth is amazing. Charlie Dornsife. Yes, Elizabeth is amazing. And thank you, Elizabeth, for being in the chat for me here. No more spare tie rods. Going aluminum? I'm going to do DOM tubing for now. And I'm going to be full hydro, so no tie rods. No tie rods at all. Well, that's not true. I guess they're the things that come out of the hydraulic ram are tie rods, but they shouldn't break. I don't think they'll break. Let's see here. Yes, I do have an awesome wife. So I've mentioned it a couple times, but my wife Elizabeth actually picked out the FJ, and I just kind of took it over. So we were at a car dealership and we bought it because she thought it looked cool, and we just brought it home and then started doing some trails here and there, and it just kind of took off. Let's see here. New video coming up tomorrow. Hey, that's a good question. No. This is Thursday's entertainment. So you'll be able to rewatch this. Everyone will be able to rewatch this. But yeah, no video tomorrow. We actually here at my house had our main sewer line collapse, and so my garage has been under construction for like the past week. They kind of dragged it out and told me it was going to be done, and then it wasn't done. So I've had a bit of a hiccup this week in my ability to use the garage. So no new video tomorrow, just this. But there will be a new video on Monday, don't you worry. Let's see, Charlie Dorn's like, your wife does not like off-roading. Oh no. Doesn't love off-roading for the sake of off-roading. Elizabeth does like off-roading, which is great. I'm very thankful for that. Let's see here. If I could choose any other Toyota to wheel off-road in, what would it be? That's a good question. Maybe an old FJ40 or some other really old Toyota. Probably not a 4Runner or a Tacoma. Not that there's anything wrong with 4Runners or Tacomas. I love them. They're super cool. But I probably wouldn't go to the trouble of buying one for myself. But they're super cool. Would I have done an Atlas transfer case if you didn't do this silent axle swap? Not immediately. I may have down the road. I saw FJ with an Atlas down in Texas, and I was pretty impressed with the low gearing. And so I probably would have eventually done it. And if you've got an FJ, go ahead and throw an Atlas in it because they're pretty awesome. The effect they have is pretty nice. So, all right. Well, we've been at this for almost 54 minutes now. And I think I've answered all of the questions, unless you've got any more. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I just want to thank you guys, everyone that's subscribed and watched my videos. Thank you guys so much. It makes making videos worthwhile. So I really appreciate it. And with that, there's a couple more questions. Let's see. Currently running dual, yes. Thoughts on 488 versus 529 gears? 529 gears aren't available for the FJ Cruiser, so I haven't run them, but the lower the better. That's what I think. All right. Well, thanks, guys. And again, no video for tomorrow. but the one on Monday for sure. And we'll see you next time.